I think one of my favorite things about the Jimmy Butler experience right now is all of the nicknames. And some of them he's had, but like we always had Jimmy Buckets, but now it's like the legend of playoff Jimmy, and it's Himmy this, Himmy that. And then,
That's
Butler,
right
Butler did this. Like, man, how do you have so many dope nicknames? That is just like one of my favorite things, but they are all deserving because this man is putting on a hell of a display, Siobhan. I mean, this is what you expect from him, isn't it?
It is, and I think so. Himmy's been coming on a bit more. The legend of playoff Jimmy Butler might be still a little bit too much, the legend part, but playoff Jimmy, we've seen, genuinely be a thing since his time in Miami. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals for the third time in 4 years. He had that performance against LeBron and against the Lakers in the bubble. The following year, right? Us and LeBron and the Lakers, and then we had the shortest turnaround, the shortest offseason, and then so the following season didn't look too great. Last season, though, back in the Eastern Conference Finals, this season in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's largely because of the way that man just elevates his level of play. He has such a reliable game and such a reliable skill set that enables him to really, really be effective and get to a lot of areas on the floor that a lot of people kind of shy away from in the today of things. And he's great body control. He's intelligent. He's great footwork in the post, great pivoting. He just has really, really all of the fun. He is so incredibly fundamentally sound. He came into the league not being an offensive talent, right? But being a defender and someone who had to pride himself on working hard and working within his body and being composed and all of that stuff. And so he's built himself this really, really reliable offensive bag. And towards the end of the season and in playoff mode, you really see him take himself to a different level and expect more of himself. And then therefore, those around him in Miami really, really rides with him. And we all kind of galvanize around the way that he elevates himself.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Just like how that the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Heat. I used to work for Miami Dolphins, so I do have an affinity to the Miami Heat in that way. But the Miami Heat have a camaraderie. I mean, you look at any of their media, interviews together, they're cracking it up, they're having a great time, etc. And because Himmy Buckets is, yes, he is a monster on the court. He's also kind of like a jokester off the court, right? Whether it's on his social media or him and Tyler Hero or, whatever, he's just always silly. And I always found it that no one ever, even though you said 3 times out of 4 years, Eastern Conference Finals, people aren't talking about the Miami Heat like powerhouse in the East, right? And it fascinates me that for years, it's just been quiet during the regular season. And it always is during the playoffs when Himmy Buckets rises up and does what he does, that's when it's like, oh, the buzz around the Heat. But I'm so fascinated by this whole underration of their team, despite how great they play together and how reliable Jimmy is. Where do you think that underrated approach from the media and fans comes from?
Underration is a great word, by the way.
Hey, underration is perfect. That's what it is. No underration and holleration. Okay. I think I like it. I think it's multi-pronged. Miami doesn't play a flamboyant or splashy style of basketball. They don't have people that you consider superstars. People will fight you tooth and nail, to argue with whether or not they believe Jimmy to be a superstar. And you can have those labels where, if you do or don't want them. But they don't have, just the raw offensive ability. They don't have freakish size. They're not athletic. They don't do anything that jumps off of the screen. They don't really break through the noise until it's time to be about winning. And then when it's really, really time to be about winning, you see them distinguish themselves from the field largely time and time again. But it is because the way that organization goes about doing things. You're right. Jimmy is goofy. He's funny, but I feel like you have to earn that out of Jimmy. He's someone to me who must know that he can trust you first, that we are here to do this thing of playing basketball, and I need to feel and appreciate and understand that you can go about it the right way. And then you can get jokey Jimmy, you can get him and Max Strus. They flick each other off all the time, and it's all love. Like he just has, these ways about him, but at the very forefront of who he is, he's like psychotic about the work of winning, and it fits truly with what Miami is about and has been about. They get talked about for the Dwayne years, and even those years don't get talked about with the respect kind of that they should. And then it's, oh, LeBron saved your franchise. No, it's not. We've been doing these things, kind of throughout the course of the history of the team. So I hope that they continue to get the respect that they deserve, and not on some, real big egoic, braggadocious type of way, but Miami really, really goes about the business of basketball in a professional, in a clean, and a, very reliable, studyable type of way.
They do, for sure. I mean, that's why you guys have the hashtag Heat culture, which I know you don't always lean into, but
oh, girl,
Heat culture is a real thing. But another kind of underrated, or I don't know, underlying storyline about this team is all the undrafted players you guys have and how you're contributing. And I mean, like, just shout out to your development staff. Like, shout out to the people who go out, the scouts. There you go. Your scouting staff. Shout out to Coach Spo, who I think is the best coach in the NBA. No disrespect to Coach Pop. So, just incredible stuff over at the Heat.
Yeah, really, really well run internally, right? Coach Spo started in the video room. He started as their video coordinator and worked his way into the position that he is, to have the trust out of a Pat Riley that he has garnered and maintained throughout the LeBron years and kind of the lean years. The undrafteds. When I was at Game 5 in Milwaukee, I asked Coach Spo, I said, how do you, Gabe Vincent is my guy. If y'all don't know, you can do your searches. I love Gabe Vincent, but there's Gabe, there's Caleb, there's Max. You have Haywood Heisman, you have all these guys. And so I was able to ask Coach Spo, what is it that in these moments now, these 3 and 4 year undrafted guys, you have this level of confidence and, kind of intentionality in going about things for them, drawing up sets for Gabe, drawing up sets for Caleb and Max. And he credited their development program. He said, Gabe has been with us now for 4 years. He started in the G League. Max started in the G League with us. Caleb is built up the right types of stuff. And so when you're able to keep good ingredients in-house, then you're able to, then go up and cook it and develop it the way that you want and have trust in guys who are unheralded and whose name might not be known.
Yes. I respect that a lot out of Coach Spo. Yeah, I just respect that a lot out of Coach Spo. And now you can say they were the underration. It's my new word. It's like the Mary J. Blige hateration.
Yeah.
But no, it really, they are underrated as players. And I think that even Coach Spo has been underrated as a coach. And I remember when he had first started and there was conversations that it was LeBron being the one behind the scenes, coaching that team and making the play calls and having all the influence on those championship teams. And I'm just so happy that he's out. There's no question about it now. It is his ability and his team and his leadership that's really brought them to this place.
Truly.
I agree. I know. Oh, I'm sorry, Siobhan.
No, go ahead, Nat. I'm sorry.
No. Don't apologize. I know this is something for you. I saw you shaking your head. That's why, because we were talking about this the other day, on Twitter, because I am someone who actually thinks Spo's always got the respect, but you don't think so, right?
I don't. And I think it's a little bit of what Zena said, right? When people underestimate what it takes to actually put together in a cohesive way, the talent, the egos, the cachet of player that Miami has been fortunate enough to have play for them. You can't just go throwing things together and expect them to work. We've seen Brooklyn, stockpile talent. We've seen Philly for a while collect talent. And just because you have a collection of talent doesn't mean that you're equipped with, making all of the things, do the things that you want them to do at the right time. And it's interesting because truly the truth of the matter is, LeBron definitely had say here, but he didn't have the pull or kind of the cachet or just like the weight that he has been able to kind of flex in Cleveland and in LA. But that is because Miami has been an established place before it was that he arrived here. You can't just come into Pat Riley's house and, you know, kind of do what it is that you think that you're going to do. But I think that you saw LeBron be the better of it. The Miami reaped the rewards for going about their business in that way. So I agree. I'm happy that Spo is finally actually getting the recognition that he's getting as a play caller, as an in-game adjuster, as a motivator, right, as someone who instills even more of the right stuff in his guys.
For sure. Crazy thing about Spo, because I want to get one more question before we let you go, but that he's never won Coach of the Year. And that is actually a remarkable thing,
Seriously.
Not in a good way. But look, I just want to ask you about the Celtics, if you think is going to happen for game 2, because a lot of the narrative has been about like the Celtics playing with their food and it's like their own mistakes, but not about what the Heat have done. So what are your thoughts on that? And what do you think about game 2?
Again, it's never what the Heat have done. It's always what did the other team do to lose the game. I think I'm kind of expecting what happened a little bit in the Milwaukee series, right? We won game 1, and then Milwaukee kind of came out game 2 and just shot the lights out from like a really, really early standpoint. If that happened tonight, I would not be surprised at all. But I think you see now Coach Mazzulla now having to adjust to some of the adjustments that Coach Spoelstra made, right? In the first half of game 1, Robert Williams, they were getting incredible kind of just like rim pressure with him just being a lob threat. We adjusted to that. And so I just want to see what Coach Mazzulla has up his sleeves. I'm confident in what we have. I know the areas where we can adjust, and I know where I think that they might too as well.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.